Hey everybody, I have a great guest on today. Her name is Jen Russman. If you haven't heard of her, you're going to hear about her today because she is amazing and she has quite the story for everybody, and it's a story of inspiration. Right? Yeah, we talked about that. So anyway, so you can introduce yourself.
It's okay. You want me to take over?
Just for a minute, yeah.
Okay. Hi, guys. So I'm Jen Russman, and Jenny and I crossed paths, and we had an instant connection and bond. We have a lot of things in common, a lot of struggles, a lot of things to overcome with our health. And I'm so thrilled to be here. You know, I'm here because I'm a self-healing expert, an advocate.
She is.
And I am. And I own that today. And I can say this today not because I have doctor before my name or PhD after my name, or because I'm a quantum scientist, like none of that. I can say this today because I have been on my own personal healing journey for decades, literally decades. I'm in my 50s. It started in my 20s. And I've healed everything from childhood sexual trauma to addiction. I was a raging alcoholic and chronic illness, MS. And I literally was able to take myself after living 7 years, sick, disabled, and homebound about 80% of the time, in bed or on the couch, to healing, running a 5K, living an active lifestyle, a vibrant life full of vitality, purpose, and meaning. And I'm here because in the core of my being, there are two things that I believe without a shadow of a doubt. The first is that every single one of us is a powerful creator. And every single one of us, even you watching, we all hold the innate ability to heal inside of us. Our bodies have the innate ability to heal. The other thing that I stand true about is that our pain is power when it's given purpose.
So Jen, I can take over now because I'm done crying.
Good. Go, girl.
No, but you know what? You did not tell everybody that you're a self-healing expert and advocate. And guess who's on here? Sparkle. Sparkle's on here.
Sparkle.
I
She's
know, right?
Friend.
I know. Isn't she awesome? She's awesome. Thank you for
Hi,
getting
Sparkle.
on, Sparkle. And everybody should know that I actually met Jen through DJ. DJ said, you've got to meet this person like today. And we met that day. And all of a sudden we're like friends, but not friends. Because I have a podcast, not podcast.
Yeah, she's a podcast, not podcast. So she asked me what the title topic would be. I'm like, well, how about topic, not topic? Can I be a friend? You're not friend?
I know, exactly. Right. So anyway, she's a trauma guide, which she's been telling you guys, and an energy healer. And she's a TV host of JenergyVibes. And she has this power hour of energetics of self-healing. So everyone should really watch that show that she has. She was sick for 7 years and she was disabled and she was in a wheelchair from the MS. And she said, I will heal myself. And guess what? She did. So through all sorts of things, she'll tell you through diet and meditation and spirituality. And I don't have the Healy, but you do. And I have it with me.
Yes.
Mark forgot it. Caregiver, not caregiver.
Frequency.
Thank you. Exactly. I'm like,
frequency healing, not frequency healing.
I'm like, how am I supposed to get better if you don't bring it? Oh my gosh, Sparkle, you are so funny. So anyway, so she also has cured her chronic illness holistically and energetically. And she's a graduate of the Institute of Healing. I did not say that right.
Institute of
Integrative Nutrition. Yes. So we talked
IIN, fabulous program. Yes.
So she's passionate about changing the narrative around healing and the link between trauma and chronic illnesses. We're going to talk about that because that has played a big role in her life. I don't remember, Jen, as I was crying, whether or not you told people exactly what happened in your past, but I think that's very important. And I know that's part of the reason that Sparkle and you connected to. So anyway, Sparkle's laughing at us right now.
Cool.
right
Because
there.
you know what? That power of laughter. Laughter is an incredible energy. And it's such a powerful tool to move energy up and out of us. So when we're feeling anxiety or depression or any of these, because all of our emotions are energy. When you look at the word emotion, has an E in front of it. So break it out. E-motion. It's energy in motion. Our emotions are energy in motion. This is why I talk about the energetics of self-healing. Because energy, I found, was the missing link for me after years and years and years of doing the inner work and me questioning, why am I still cycling the trigger trauma loop? Why am I still carrying this deep, heavy ball of sadness deep inside of me? It turned out, and I was like, what's wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with me. I was energetically attached
Yeah. Yeah. And guess what?
to my past pain. Understand what?
But guess what? Oh, you froze for a minute. But I forgot to tell you guys the most important thing. Well, I think it's the most important thing. She ran a 5K. Now, somebody that had MS and was in a wheelchair.
I wasn't in a wheelchair. I don't want you to.
I think
I don't
you're
want
in a
to people on.
wheelchair.
No, I used wheelchairs. I used canes. I was in bed or on the couch because I had a lot of vertigo. And I mean, I can go, I don't want to get into the litany of all the stuff that I went through, but I've, been blind. I've been paralyzed, semi-paralyzed. I've been So I've used wheelchairs, but I'm not going to say that I was wheelchair bound. That would be.
Oh, that's good.
Leading.
That's really good.
Yeah. Just want to correct
we don't
that.
like to use that word if we don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not here to, exaggerate, like I don't need to exaggerate because it was horrible.
None of us do, right? People just don't understand that we're not exaggerating half the time.
And the thing too about a chronic illness like MS is people hear MS and they think wheelchair.
Right.
No, there's also the invisible disability piece to it.
Right.
And that was, some of it was visible, but a lot of it was invisible. And that was very, very difficult and hard on me, and the looks I get or the comments I get when I park in my handicap parking spot. I don't look
just going to say, yeah.
So that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
it's true. And that's probably part of the reason that DJ introduced us, because my Lyme disease was, I don't like to say the Lyme disease, you should never say my before your illness, just so you guys know that. So kind of what happened with me was that mine was invisible for a long time. And then all of a sudden it wasn't invisible because I'd have to use a cane, and then I'd go to PT for 2 months. And then I was fine. I was wearing heels again. So I'm sure you've run into the same thing, especially with the handicap placards or whatever. I get that all the time. Now that I have a walker, they're just like, oh, that's okay.
Well, clearly they can see it, but the people are so quick to judge because they're just not informed.
Yeah, exactly.
Many blessings.
Exactly.
I'm going to be nice and polite. They're not informed.
They're not informed. That's exactly it. And they just, that's part of the reason they don't understand. Yeah. And a lot of these autoimmune diseases, that's kind of what happens. People find out all the time, if you have cancer, you have cancer. Everybody knows this and that. And they just look at you a different way and they say, oh, you have cancer. But if you have an autoimmune disease that's not out there, and they don't see it all the time, then they go, you don't really have that.
And a big thing I struggled with a lot was people would say to me all the time, wow, you're doing so good. I have a friend who with MS and they're in a wheelchair, and wow, you're doing amazing. And I'm standing there have my feet feel like they're on fire, and I got all these nerve pains shooting through my body, and I'm half dizzy. I'm ready to fall over, thinking you have no idea the world that is going on inside of my body, right? You have no idea. Thank you for the compliment, but no, thank you, because it's not true.
So somebody just said that to me the other day. They're like, oh, but it sounds like you're doing so well. And I'm like, but you haven't seen me in 2 years. So no, I'm not doing that well, actually.
Right. But see, that's an important piece right there, though, because we're here to talk about changing the narrative, right?
Exactly.
When it comes to self-healing. And so those 7 years that I was so disabled and sick, my narrative that was going on in a cycle, I was on the hamster wheel with my narrative of, oh my God, I'm so sick. Oh, I don't feel good.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, so tired. I'm so sick. I don't feel good. I'm so tired. I'm so sick. That was just I was that full speed ahead hamster every single day. And so that was my narrative. That was my internal dialogue. Yeah. And so it's, when we're living, our words, our thoughts, our emotions, it's all energy. So if that's the cycle, that's the wheel that I'm riding,
Right.
more of that's just going to keep showing up. And so is it any wonder I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker?
Mm-hmm.
Not only because of that, but also because of the protocols that my medical team had me on, and the medications made me even more sick. All the interferon injections and, IVs with home care nurses and the steroids, that made me even sicker on top of the actual dis-ease. And I don't believe in disease. I believe in dis-ease. There is dis-ease in the mind, body, spirit, either in all three, or it's coming from one that's causing the others. But it's a state of dis-ease. And let's get to the root of that. Where does that originate? What is causing that state of dis-ease in the body? Right? Instead of just, here, take this injection, swallow this pill, wear this Band-Aid, because that's what they do, these quick fixes. And being sober, I'm not about quick fixes anymore. Let's go to the root and let's heal. Right? This is about healing. Yeah, there's a lot of healing that comes after taking all those medications, and especially if you had an alcohol problem or a drug problem or anything like that. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of healing that comes. And and when I talk about healing, I really try to stress so people understand what feels like and looks like healing for me will be different for you, will be different for Sparkle, will be different from anybody else out there.
Right.
We get to decide, we get to choose what healing is going to look like and feel like for us. And so when you asked me, how did I heal? How did I begin my healing journey?
Yes, exactly. Like, when did you decide?
After 7, it happened.
Yeah. So when did you decide to let go of the past and not keep, like you said, the hamster wheel? Because that's detrimental to anybody that's sick. I don't care what you have. You have cancer,
because the
anything.
The mind-body connection is huge. And so what goes on up here goes on neck down, right?
Right.
And we have to change what's going on up here. And we have to take personal responsibility for our health and well-being.
Yeah.
It's all about putting our healing back into our own hands and not relying on other people to tell us what we need to be doing. We need to go inward and trust our inner knowing. But I'm missing a step. The very first thing that I experienced was I woke up and I experienced what I call a divine intervention, where I woke up one day at 36 years old and I just felt something land in me. I felt something shift. I now recognize it as what I call an energetic activation, like a switch flipped in me. And I woke up. I was activated, divinely activated, to where I heard a voice saying, I'm not going to live sick anymore. My first question was, is this it? And I was looking around. I'm 36 years old. Is this it for me? Because if this is it, like, I'm 36, and if I'm going to be on this planet for a while, I got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
I don't see myself making it like this.
Right.
I didn't get sober for this crap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because my dis- hit 4 years into my sobriety. And so with this divine intervention, I made it up. What I've now coined and teach and coach people on is the power of decision in your life. And I define the power of decision as this. It's choosing and embodying an unshakable truth that completely changes the trajectory of your life. And that day, that's the day that I became a personal creator in my own life. I went from living unconsciously to consciously and making that power of decision for myself, that I am not going to. Here's an important piece to this when we make a decision like this for ourselves. You don't have to know how. I had no freaking clue. I had no clue of how I was going to even do it. I just knew that living sick wasn't my destiny. I was meant for more, and I was going to find a way. And so that led to step 2, which is trusting your inner knowing, listening to your inner knowing, following your inner knowing. I didn't have support from my medical team. I didn't have support from my family. And I love my family. They love me dearly. And that was coming. It was all fear-based. You're going to get sicker if you go off all your meds. What are you doing? You can't do that. You're going to get sicker. And nobody supported my decision. That day that I called up and said, I'm done. No more. We're done. I'm doing things different. And so I was alone in my decision. but I wasn't, because I had divine guidance, and that was my inner knowing. So trust your inner knowing, even when it doesn't make sense, even when everything and everyone around you is telling you differently. If your inner knowing is pulling you and telling you to do something a certain way, listen to that and honor that. So that was step 2. And then I got into the mindset. I had to change my narrative. I had to change my beliefs around this dis-ease, my beliefs around the body's ability or inability to heal, all my beliefs, right? And what I was capable of. And then I had to step into what I call therapeutic nutrition. And one of the first steps I took is I always say an infomercial saved my life. I bought the Jack LaLanne juicer off of an infomercial and paid monthly payments, 6 monthly payments of $20, saved my freaking life. I started juicing 3 to 4 times a day, vegetables with some fruits, and my body woke up and said, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Because my body knows what to do with that. It doesn't know what to do with the synthetic shit that they were putting in me with all the meds.
Okay, I'll just get kicked off.
Shiz.
I'm totally
all
joking.
The shiz that they were filling me with on the medication.
Anyway, she said, cheese.
Cheese, yes. Cheese it. So
exactly.
Yes.
No, I'm
anyways, sorry about that.
I really don't care, because we're talking about things that are very, very important, and they're very passionate. That's why I started to cry again at the beginning. I'm like, I'm actually talking to people or bringing people on that have autoimmune diseases on purpose. And every time I'm like, and they're like,
I know. And you know you're going to cry, right?
But I warned her ahead of time. I was like, but you know what? I think, you want to know what happened? I think when we went live, remember you said, just don't pick your nose. I'm not going to pick my nose. And I'm like, don't pick your nose. I think that's on the video when you started, which I think is pretty funny. But
thanks for sharing that. Is that what made you cry?
No, I did not actually.
No, but it makes you laugh.
Yeah, that did make me laugh actually. But
so those are the first steps that I was taking. That's how I climbed out of that hole. I was in a deep hole, and I had no clue how I was going to get out of that. I just knew that I was.
Did you have anyone in your family that had MS?
No.
So I was going to say, these things that happen to you, you don't need to have people in your family or in your past, your friends, whatever, saying, hey, guess what? This is why this happened to you. Right. Because guess what? It doesn't matter why it happened to you. It happened to you. And you're dealing with it now, but you just don't need to be living in the past of other people's past. It's like the ghost of 50 years ago.
Of self-healing. Yeah. So for me, what I have uncovered and discovered for myself and all of my clients that I work with, and I started to take note of all the women I knew in recovery, because I've been sober almost 27 years. I've sponsored so many women and helped them with their self-worth. And so many women like me have chronic illness, right? And as I'm working with them, I'm discovering they have trauma like I do. And so I started to see this connection, because I'm a survivor of sexual trauma in my childhood. And then that shifted into addiction, which was, the emotional suppression piece. And so is it any surprise or coincidence I wake up, did my body just randomly go haywire one day at 29 years old and fall apart?
Yeah.
And get slapped with a diagnosis that they call MS? No, it wasn't random. It wasn't out of nowhere. It was, I truly believe, there's a link between trauma stored in the body and chronic illness. And so I'm here to show people that link and to break that link for people doing the energy work that I do. And it works. And so what happens is we carry trauma in our bodies several ways. We carry it as cellular memories on a cellular level. It's stored in our body. We carry it through emotional suppression, where our emotions are trapped and lodged in our bodies, because as I said before, emotions are energy in motion, and all energy needs to complete its cycle of motion. And when we don't process and we stuff our emotions, that cycle of movement doesn't get to complete itself through and out of our body, and it gets stuck, stored, and backed up. So that's the emotional suppression piece. Then you've got the years of self-harm with my alcoholism and addiction, and harming myself in unhealthy ways. And that's more emotional suppression, because I was suppressing the pain, right? So at 29 years old, my body didn't just randomly go haywire. My body was crying for help from my body. Unfortunately, it took me 7 years before I had my wake up and realized, okay, I need to do different. But thank God I did, because now I'm able to look back
Mm-hmm.
all these years later and recognize this is the pattern. And it's the pattern I see with so many. And I say women because I've mostly worked with women throughout my life and in my sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
But I see it's true for men too. So
Yes, it is.
there is a link between stored trauma in the body and chronic illness. And if we can break and release those energetic ties and clear away the cellular memories and complete the emotions, like the energy, if we can allow the energy of the emotions to move through and out of us and get rid of it and heal it, that's where the going to the root and healing. So
Exactly.
the body can now not have these blocks, because the body's innate ability and wisdom to heal, it's here to live in homeostasis, which is a state of balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it wants. But when we've got all this garbage and muck stored in our body, it can't, it blocks it, it locks it up. It can't do what it knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always say, give the body what the body needs, and your body will give you what you want.
Now, I don't know if I want to do the celery juice, but I'm like, did you do the celery juice, by the way?
Sorry juice?
No, the celery.
Oh, celery. You did ask me that before. I have done celery juice. But my see, everything, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have, the internet wasn't what it was when I was diagnosed with EMS.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a hunt, libraries, bookstores. I couldn't find one story, one person. I just wanted that one. I get emotional. Like, I just wanted that one person, that one story of hope, so that I knew it was possible. Right. And that's what I got when I went into AA. I got the hope.
I love
right?
the expression
Because
you just
this
had on
person
your
did it.
face. You just froze and you're like,
so it was about like the hope for me. That's why I'm out here. I'm out talking about this, because people need to know there's hope and there's possibility.
right.
We just have to be open, and we have to step outside of the box of all the conditioning that we've been living in.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so conditioned. And when we can start recognizing and start unlayering the conditioning and then shedding it, all bets are off, baby. Because now you get to shed away everything that's not yours and step into the truth of what is yours.
So how do you feel about Chinese medicine? Because they always say to you, I don't care what you have, because I'm going at the root cause of everything. I don't care what the label is that you have, or what your doctor's telling you.
Me neither.
Because guess what? It doesn't matter. Like, we're just going to do the root cause, and then we're just going to go after that, and that's it. So I feel like that's what you're discussing. It doesn't have to be Chinese medicine, but it seems as though that's what you're going after.
It's natural, holistic, and energetic. That's the realm that I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Western medicine doesn't have its place, because it does. It is freaking phenomenal when it comes to crisis care, surgical crisis care, like there. But as far as preventative and long-term healing, no, it's no good. So I'm here to change the narrative around how we talk about and deal with trauma and chronic illness, and merging, like showing people they are directly connected. Yeah. So, so it's all about stepping outside of the box of all the conditioning and finding out. I was my own guinea pig. Like, I didn't have a mentor or a guide or somebody telling me, go buy a juice and start juicing. I didn't have that. It was all my divine guidance. It was my inner knowing. It was the breadcrumbs. See, this is why it's so important for people to understand you don't have to know the how. You just have to make the decision, and then you have to trust your inner knowing and trust that the universe will drop the breadcrumbs in front of you as you go. And then when a breadcrumb shows up, you make your decision accordingly, whether it feels right for you or not. Because not everything that shows up in relationship with your inner knowing, so that you can go, oh yeah, so the juicer showed up, and then this showed up, and then this supplement showed up, and then, emotional healing. And then, years later, the energy healing showed up, and that, like, the energy was what brought me over the finish line. Not that there's ever a finish line, but it brought me to a new level of healing doing the energy work, because that was the missing link for me. And that's the missing link I see for so many of my clients.
I was going to ask you something about even the emotional healing from relationships. Like, if you didn't get over a relationship. Did
you see Tim's comment? That should go on there before you go live checklist. Do not pick your nose.
Actually, Robert Murray said, I literally was picking my nose. He was.
That's
too.
So funny. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
We weren't. But I was going to ask you, because it seems as though if you don't get over relationships, like really hard breakups, and anything like that, jobs that you left or were fired from, like any of that.
Yep.
If you don't get over that, if you don't process that, that's why COVID's kind of, in a weird way, good for a lot of us, because we processed a lot of that. Like, what do we really want to do in our lives, right?
It slowed us down and stopped us.
Yeah,
we weren't as distracted as we normally are.
Yeah. At least we don't think we are, right? We don't think we are, but I think people are really seeing the truth of a lot of things. And I hope that what I'm doing and what you're doing, educating people, or letting people know what's really out there, because when you're so hyped up in the 9-to-5 work day, and you're not able, not your teachers,
present.
But your teachers or your bosses aren't seeing what's really going on. A lot of people are really sick and they're not telling people. They're not telling the people around them. And all of a sudden they find out and they're like, I didn't know that you had that. Like, I didn't know that you had this or that. And they're like, well, I really want to stay home and work from home because I do have that. Yeah. And I think that's important so people can heal.
Absolutely. And, someone who's, suffered from depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, the addiction, all the mental health stuff, which goes hand in hand with trauma, right? It's a serious problem right now with what we've been going through this past year and a half. We've seen, but we're not going to go down that road, but it's always been here. And I think one of the gifts of this quarantine and this COVID situation is that it has literally brought the conversation about mental health and mental wellness and addiction and all of these things to the surface. It's opening the conversation up for people to say, you know what? Right. We're not gonna hide behind closed doors anymore. We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
So, and it's important to talk about it. And that's part of releasing the emotions.
I don't know if Sparkle's still on here, but I'm sure Sparkle has a huge thing to say about that. I don't know for people that are signing up for her courses right now, or for her to help them through addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, whatever, has probably gone up immensely, because all of a sudden she's getting a whole bunch of people, I think, that are at home, or they finally said, okay, I'm ready to be, admitted to I'm done with this or that,
Because I agree 100% with Robert's comment right now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Robert. I believe many mental chronic illnesses are manifested out of past trauma. I also believe that emotional distress, denial, and self-shame, shame and guilt directly derives physical. That's what we're talking about here, Robert. Absolutely. I mean, I've been labeled PTSD too, but you know what? We are not our labels. We're not our labels.
Yeah.
And when we decide to let go of the labels, that's when we can really shed the conditioning, and that's when we can really open ourselves up to the possibility of healing, not covering up, not curing. That's not even in my vocabulary. I don't like that C word. I don't use that C word unless I'm making the point that I'm making.
There's so many things that the C word can stand for.
Yeah, but some of them definitely are going to share here.
Somebody said that to me. They're like, are you talking about COVID, cancer, or something else? And I'm like, let's just say COVID. No. I know, right? So I was like, oh, Robert just said amen. By the way, when he said, he goes, I agree, Jen. I'm like, well, which Jen? Me or her?
Me. I think me, because I agreed with him. Or maybe you. I don't know. I could be wrong.
You. It's really funny. I just told her we've had 3 Jens on this week.
Yeah.
Jenny Crawford, me, and Jen here, right? It's just Jen week. It's Jen week.
Yeah.
So,
but this is what I do, Robert. Like, this is what I do. In my energy healing practice, my clients come to me, they have trauma in their past, and I'm able to connect with them energetically in their subconscious, use muscle testing, and I locate these trapped emotional suppressions, and I'm able to release them energetically out of the body, which releases that huge energetic ties which tether us to the past, and that frees our body to be able to move forward and heal and do what it knows what to do.
Robert,
and that's the heart of my energy healing business, my practice.
But Robert's in Alaska, and I just want him to know that here's the deal. The first time I talked to her, I'm like, how did you just pull that out of me? I was like, but I needed her to all of a sudden just pull this stuff out of me. I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy, but okay. And it's true. Yeah. I mean, I got off the phone with her and I'm like, I just had an epiphany. I told some of my friends, I was just like, wow, okay, now I know what's been going on in my life for the last 40 years, like seriously. But
Can I share a quick story?
yes, you can. And guess what? It's been a half hour. So you can share your story, but then please let everybody know how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So one of my clients, who's a dear friend of mine now, she had a serious sexual trauma when she was 17 years old. And I have her permission to share this, 17 years old. And she developed PTSD, anxiety, severe anxiety, and then a horrific digestive disorder as a result, where if her anxiety kicked in, she would throw up for days and she couldn't eat. She lived like this. Are you ready for this? 14 years until our paths crossed.
We know some people like that.
Yeah. And so horrible. Our first session, I released something and she was like, she had a hard ball like in her diaphragm. You could feel it physically. None of the doctors, nobody knew what it was. 14 years this went on. And her first session, I released something and she said, Jen, I literally felt like you were pulling this ball out of me. And she could push in, it was soft and smushy again. The ball was gone. And this is almost a year now. Ever since, her triggers are no longer triggers. Her anxiety is calm and she can eat whatever she wants.
So do you feel that was an energy? That it was like a black energy or something? Because I had somebody pull that out of me before, a Reiki master, and I was like, wow, okay, that can hurt.
These are balls, these energy balls that get lodged in our bodies. And so, but hers manifested where you could feel it physically. Yeah. And no doctors could explain it. Nobody knew what to do for her. She was suffering for 14 years. And then one session, it was removed, released, and her life has changed. Yeah. And so this is why I'm out here talking about this, because, and I thought of it because of what Robert was reiterating about the link between trauma and illness in our body.
He's very glad that you're on today.
Yeah. Thank you. Me too. Me too.
So anyway, so Jen, can you please let everybody know how to get in touch with you? Because I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to say, if you guys are watching on the replay, please do a hashtag replay. And, but Jen, I think a lot of people will be watching this on a replay because we're on a holiday weekend, Friday. Yeah. But definitely
rainy weekend.
Yeah. And I've got it down there. After this, you guys will be able to see everything, but just reiterate to them how to get in touch with you.
Oh, you mean you're going to put it in the comments or in the description? It's in my little, Right. Gotcha. Yeah. So you can reach me in my email is powertohealwithjen@gmail. So powertohealwithjen@gmail. Or I have a website for the energy healing, which is powerfulcreatorwithjen.com. powerfulcreatorwithjen.com. Or you can check out my not just or.
I'm just going to get in touch with just Jenny.
Yeah.
I'll go by Jenny.
You'll see the direct link to my TV show, but if you go to bold and then you click the three lines up top.
You said that one more time.
Yeah.
You froze.
Yeah. boldbravetv.com.
Okay.
And then you click the three lines at the top and scroll down to JenergyVibes, and then you get to the show, and then you scroll down to the bottom, and there's a list. You can click the button to go see the playlist of all my episodes that I've done. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
But the link will actually take you to JenergyVibes, the one that she puts in the description.
Okay. I am so glad, Jen, that you came on today.
Me too.
I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to cry again. I cried. I cried the other day too. So on last Friday.
Well, we can always do it again.
It's a Friday cry thing because next weekend on Friday, I'm going to have another Lyme guy. Actually, he's a really good friend of mine. He has healed himself, he believes. So that'll make me cry.
Yeah.
He's a really good friend of mine from LA. So yeah. So see, this is just what happens when you decide to do something like this.
Absolutely. And it's important what we're doing. It's
very
important.
It's very important.
It's time, you guys. It's time to bring this all into the light.
And it hasn't been easy, just so you guys know, for me to bring this out, just about me and what's been going on with me for 30 some years. It's not easy. And, but it's something that needs to be told. And I've never wanted to get it out there, but I'm doing it now. That's all that matters. So,
and it's cathartic. It's part of this. See, what you're doing is part of your healing.
It is.
This is part of your emotional healing.
It is. Even though I cry every time.
And so, you know what?
Right?
Like, I love you for that.
I love
and
you
the
for this,
courage and how brave you are to step out and publicly, like you are publicly emotionally healing. That is not easy. It's not easy to do it privately, but you're doing it publicly. And for that, I want to say thank you, because that is going to be such an inspiration to other people who are privately going through what they're going through and they feel like they're alone and nobody understands.
Right. But thank you, Jen. I really appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to me. It does. And I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Even if it's raining all weekend.
No, it's not going to be raining here. It's so damn hot. Oh, this is my new. We're not going to do that. See, this is the Tim. So this is the Tim. But you know Tim,
I'm in New York and it's cold and rainy.
What? But you know how to do
It's beautiful hot, and then all week, and now in time for the 3-day weekend, it decides it's going to rain. So
what? Right. Wait a second. Do you know how to do the Tim?
The Tim?
Tim.
No.
Oh, my teacher is Tim.
I don't know what you're doing.
He goes like this with his fingers when he dances. So I was told last night. Well, I wasn't told. I was on live. It was a Run Nose Day, and I said, "All right, I know this is a Tim," and he told me he was my teacher for this.
Oh, Tim.
Yeah. So I go, all right, fine. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, this is an armpit, like dry off, even though my armpits aren't really hot. But it's been so hot here in Colorado. Yeah. So you guys are going to get it pretty soon.
Well, I'm hopefully relocating to Arizona in a couple of years. So I'll be in the same boat soon enough. And I cannot wait because I'm done with Northeastern weather. I'm done with snow.
I'm done with the humidity. I have
humidity too. Yes.
Like why we have it in Colorado, I have no idea. But anyway,
and that's why I like it, like Arizona, because you don't have the humidity. So with my asthma and the MS, it's going to be good.
And Jen, you should watch on Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday, but well, Marianne's awesome. She's on this Tuesday, but watch the following Tuesday because I'm going to have the beekeeper on, and he's actually harvesting bees and hives for his kids that have allergies.
Oh, thank God for people like him.
Out of Virginia. Yeah.
We got to save our bee colony.
Yeah. So he's harvesting
danger.
He's harvesting honey and everything. Well, the bees and the honey and for his family, and then also people are buying them too. So, but he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it for his family. So they have pretty bad allergies since they moved there from LA or California or somewhere. So, yeah.
Robert has a question for you.
What's that?
I'll take time to answer it. He's asking, as far as your physical pain, where in your body does most of your pain reside?
I really don't have a whole lot. I have lower back pain because it was re-injured a year ago when I had to go back into that facility for physical therapy, not for drug or alcohol addiction. People in the industry are like, "We didn't know you were an alcoholic or a drug addict." I'm like, okay, yeah, the CBD, CBD does that.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah, I know it was because I couldn't walk when COVID started. And I couldn't see my doctors. They were actually integrative health doctors. They were not legal doctors to see anymore for a while. But that's another story for another time, right? Yeah, gotta love the guy.
I have pain in my body, Robert. So we can always have that conversation if you want. So yeah, but I've learned how to deal with it, and a lot of it is the energy, and I have to move the energy out of my body. Whether it's I'm feeling anxiety, depression, or I'm actually learned how to tone through sound toning, tone physical pain out of my body.
See, people love to hear that.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be on for an hour, and that's totally fine with me.
It's okay. Right? I mean, I don't have any
I know, but I think those things are important to tell people because they're probably saying, people are probably saying, well, do you have pain? Because you never mentioned the pain. And how do you deal with the pain?
Yeah.
Since you're not taking anything. And
I don't even like to take ibuprofen or anything. That stuff is so bad for your liver. Like I won't, if I have to be in an enormous amount of pain to take it. I take it on occasion when it's bad enough, but because I have multiple injuries and on top of, all the other stuff. So from car accidents and surgeries. So, but there's so many options available for relieving pain. I even learned an energy healing modality that's just up here in a simple statement you say to yourself over and over again. And I was like, all right, let's see if this guy's for real. And I started doing it. And within 15 minutes, the pain that I was in was gone. And I was like, what? So there's.
No, it's good because the brain retraining, honestly,
brain retraining.
I totally believe in that.
Yeah. Robert, I don't know if you follow Joe Dispenza. Robert, Dr. Joe Dispenza is like he is the man, he is the human being on this planet to rewire the brain when it comes to pain and illness and things like that. So
he's gonna go right here.
Yeah. So are you familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza? Jenny?
Am I? Yeah, I've heard of him. I just, for some reason right now.
He's amazing. He's incredible. Incredible.
I was going to say, I know the name, but for some reason I just can't connect it right now.
Yeah, he had a spinal injury and he healed himself by rewiring his brain.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I was at Cedars-Sinai in LA, when I lived there, they're always like, oh, don't worry about the fact that you can't walk right now because we're going to get you back because we're looking at your MRI and we're just going to rewire this. And I'm like, okay. They would just change like one exercise.
Yeah.
1 or 2 exercises. And all of a sudden I'm in heels and a suit again.
Yeah.
So, I
want to add to that. Like when I was sick, like I was taught you need to rest. Right. And so a body in motion stays in motion, right? Like, and if you're not in motion, so,
yeah.
A movement is, even if it hurts, even if you can just move a little bit each day, you got to start somewhere. Movement can pull you out as well. Yeah. Because the message I got was suppress your immune system with all these drugs, rest all the time.
Yeah.
And that was it. And if I continue to listen,
too hot, but don't get too hot.
Yeah. So movement is so important as well. It's all about moving the energy, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually. Got to move the energy, you guys, because it's all energy. Our thoughts, our emotions, our intentions.
I've never been
our words.
Yeah. I've never been so negative. Like I was not this negative when I was in California. I don't know what it is, but that's okay. I think it's the doctors that I've associated myself with, but that's on me because I can just keep finding new ones. It's expensive.
But it's on you too, because you're holding your mental, emotional, and physical well-being and your spiritual well-being in the palm of your hand with the healing. Right. There are frequencies in that little tiny device for positive thinking, spiritual elevation, mental health, relieving physical pain. Like you have it all. Everything you need is in that little tiny device.
Do you have yours with you?
I don't. It's downstairs in my bedroom.
Right, everybody. She's gonna go downstairs for a minute. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys want to come to my bedroom?
I told Mark, I'm like, he almost went home to get it, and I'm like, just
your caregiver, not caregiver.
Like the caregiver, not caregiver.
Oh, that's right, because my husband, not husband. His name is Mike too.
Oh, this is Mark. No, this is Mark.
Oh, Mark.
They start
Mark, Mike.
I know, right?
Whatever.
But I was kind of bummed at that because his isn't working properly right now. Like it won't connect to his phone. So I haven't done it for about 4 or 5 days. Oh, it isn't? I
got to reload I have the residence. I got to reload the whole residence, all the programs.
See, that's what he has too.
It works we're off topic.
Yeah, sorry. Everybody, if you guys want to know about the Healy, just ask us.
Let us know.
It's really great, actually.
It's amazing. And I'm also, I don't know if you've heard of Nature's Frequencies, but they are stickers, which contain, the technology that's out, you guys. Science meets technology meets spirituality. These are frequency stickers. They have frequencies in them, and you stick them on your body, and they do amazing things.
Are those like the socks?
I don't know about the socks, but these are little tiny stickers that you stick on, and they last for a few days. And I use them for pain management. I use them for all sorts of things. Yeah.
But that's cool. That's good to know. But anyway, so our time is done. Actually, 45 minutes. Done. That's less than an hour. But
I'm glad you said it for 30 minutes. And,
I know we're
less than an hour.
It's just going to be what it is. That's what's important, because these conversations can't be cut off. You can't just say, okay, it's been a half hour, bye-bye, because these are very important. So, I
want to end, there's something I do want to end with, and I didn't get to touch on, but whenever there is dis-ease in the body, the first thing that you should be looking at is your gut health.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to your gut health.
Thank you so much for saying that. That was one thing we didn't bring up yet.
What, gut? The gut? Yeah. So when I went to the school, IIN, I learned, one of the first things I learned, and I didn't know this, was 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And so if our gut is not healthy, our immune system is not healthy. And the other piece too, there's the gut-brain axis. So the vagus nerve connects the gut to the brain, and the gut actually communicates to the brain more than the brain communicates to the gut. It's actually now considered the first brain, right? And serotonin, neurotransmitters like serotonin, 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. And if your gut's not healthy and not able to communicate these neurotransmitters and send them through the vagus nerve to your brain, depression, anxiety.
Do you have the salve for that from Dr. Klinghardt? Do you have that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Do I have what?
Do you have the salve or the lotion or whatever for the vagus nerve? Yeah, I have it.
Oh, do you?
But
no, I take supplements for all of this. They're for mental wellness, and it's treating the gut, and it's made such a huge difference in my life.
We need to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, I do believe that there is a treatment or a cure for Lyme. It's just being withheld. So.
There is. Robert, I want to let you know, I have gone to a holistic center for about over 9 years now, and I was first introduced to frequency healing at this center, and they wheeled in this machine, and here's what it's called. It's called FSM. It's called Frequency Specific Microcurrent, FSM. And this machine sends frequencies, it has settings for all the different frequencies, and whatever's resonating with your body most, right, in order priority, it will help your body heal, right? It doesn't heal your body, but it supports and helps it recalibrate your bioenergetic field. So with regards to Lyme, I'm bringing this up because with Lyme or something like Lyme or shingles, there are frequencies in this FSM machine where my therapist was telling me they have people coming in with Lyme, and after a few sessions hooked up to this machine, depending on how chronic and long you've had it, I mean, it could be a few sessions, it could be multiple sessions, but whether it's shingles or Lyme, people are being healed of Lyme and shingles using this frequency machine. So there is so much hope and possibility and options available to you, Robert, when it comes to Lyme. So if you want to reach out to me privately for more information on that,
he doesn't have Lyme. He said they don't have Lyme in Alaska.
Oh.
But he's been to Colorado quite a few times, so.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have, well, you don't have ticks in Alaska?
Did you get this? I know. I was like, yeah, okay. So he said,
no ticks hanging out on the icebergs?
Right, exactly, on the polar bears and the bears.
All right.
So he just said here, his stomach hurts. I had to quit smoking because it made my stomach hurt. Well, Robert, we can have another conversation about that.
Oh.
You just shouldn't be smoking.
Robert, please reach out to me.
Yeah.
I have holistic solutions for the gut, for the stomach, and energy to release whatever might be energetically causing the issues with your stomach as well. So please feel free to reach out to me.
I think he feels bad that he eats the moose on his property. But he's not the only one that eats it. I think his neighbors.
Eats what?
Moose. They have they'll
never had moose.
Kill the moose and then they'll divide it. If I understand correctly. Yeah.
I didn't know people eat moose. I've never heard of that.
You're in Alaska?
Well, yeah, they're in Alaska. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can feed a lot of people with one moose.
Well, yeah, that's what he was saying.
Imagine a meat feast if you have multiple moose. It's a meat feast.
Well, also, he said that what's going on up there, because of COVID, they couldn't go in. It's kind of ruined a little bit of his company because tourists, they didn't want the tourists going into the different Native American, or I guess they call them Native American, up there into their tribal areas, because if one person took COVID in there, it would actually wipe out the entire little colony. I wouldn't say call them a colony, but tribe, because they're not very big. They're so small up there that it's a really big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to protect your own.
He wants information. a very empathic people person. He is.
Awesome.
He has a live show called Inspire Nation.
Nice.
Yeah. And he has people all the time. Oh, by the way, Jen, he actually contacted somebody. I don't know how he did. It's been in the middle of Africa. And he's been feeding them like a bag of rice. He like raises money to get a huge bag of rice.
Robert, you sound like somebody I need to know.
Yeah.
Are you on LinkedIn? Find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Is he on LinkedIn?
Yes, he is.
All
so
right,
we
cool.
just said, actually, he got LinkedIn Live, and he
Village.
was in my.
How? I've applied. I haven't heard. It's been months. It's like no rhyme or reason who gets picked for it.
LinkedIn Live.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, what he applied when we were in class together.
All right, cool.
And he was always trying to get on StreamYard. He would be on StreamYard, and all of a sudden it was like a Star Trek Enterprise. Like all of a sudden he'd go, like we totally miss him. Like all of a sudden he'd like disappear like that, and all of a sudden he'd come back. We're like, oh, look, he's back from where we just went, Mars,
Funny.
whatever. So so he said, he just said, you look extremely intelligent. I think we
negligent.
Oh,
you look extremely negligent.
I can't really see right now because
we've known each other for many lives.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Familiar, not negligent.
Ha! I was like negligent. I was like,
whoo! Thank God, Robert. I'm like, dude, where are you going with that one?
I know, right? I was
very
like,
nice.
I was like, is that negligee or negligent? I was like, I don't know what
negligee. You look very negligee today.
And a nice sweatshirt. I know, right? Anyway, I have loved this conversation. This is so much fun. But
oh my God, that was hilarious, Robert. Thank you for that laugh.
I usually end like this, and I'm like laughing, and you guys must think I'm crazy.
And you start out crying, and then you end laughing. Perfect. I
know, right?
I'm glad it's not the other way around.
I know, right? So
we're all about raising the vibe here. You got to raise your vibe if you want to heal.
We're raising our vibe.
Got to change the narrative. Change that narrative if you want to heal.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, everybody. So again, 52 minutes and 47 seconds. We're done. So anyway, you guys, please like Jane's Gold Standard on YouTube. I always forget to say that. Please like Jen's stuff too. She's on Facebook. You're on Facebook, right?
I am on Facebook, Jen Russman.
Yep. LinkedIn, and
Jen Russman, JenergyVibes on LinkedIn.
On YouTube. Like her pages. And Jane's Gold Standard on LinkedIn, Jane's Gold Standard on Facebook, and Jane's Gold Standard on YouTube. All right. You guys have a great day.
We got the whole trifecta there.
Thank you, everybody, for being on here. Tim came on.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, Brian Schulman just came on. What? Wow. Brian, a little bit late here, but we're so glad you're here.
Well, thank God we're still on. Because if we weren't still on, he wouldn't be able to jump on. Thank God we went over.
Brian, we were going to be a half hour, and I'm like, okay, we're at 31 minutes.
Oh, see, Brian says you look good, whereas Robert said you look negligent.
Brian, we thought I was trying to read it because my screen was really small. I'm like, did you just say a negligee? I'm like, I know it's it's
so funny. It's like I meant familiar, not negligent.
That's hilarious. Well,
Priceless.
Robert just said he loved you. I don't think Robert loves me anymore. Usually he does. He said, woohoo.
He does.
I'm just kidding. He goes, he loves you.
You have a lot in common, so he must be negligent too.
I know, right? It's lace. That's what I'm going to say. This is my lace negligee. Oh. And Brian, that's what I'm going to start wearing now. So whenever I come on your show, I'm going to be like, oh, here we go. I'm wearing a negligee today. He'd be like, that's great, Jenny. That's great. He'd be like, that's a line brain right there. But you guys, seriously, thank you so much. And Brian, we missed you. Now we're going to thank Brian. We're going to thank Robert. We're going to thank Tim. Yes. We're going to thank Sparkle. We're going to thank Jen Russman for being my guest today.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't even remember who else was on here. Oh, Eileen and Tim are both on here. Sloan. Yeah. So that was very nice that they were all on here. But thank you guys for
hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And thank you, StreamYard. And we don't even have anybody to hashtag today, like Disney. I put on my Disney ears, but that's how we're gonna get. That's how we're gonna get sponsors. Like Disney's gonna sponsor me, right?
No. Right? Why not? Put on your hey, come on.
Hey, you know what, Brian? What do you think? Oh, Does Brian have a comment about that? He wants Disney to sponsor him, probably.
Who wouldn't want Disney to sponsor them?
What'd you say? Anybody could give him.
Who wouldn't? I mean, Disney's
right?
like the epitome of happiness. So
I know. I mean, if you watch me on Saturday morning, I'm always like, here I am. Right? So anyway, you guys have a great weekend again.
Yes.
And we love you. And I'm so happy that everybody came today. This is a rough one again at the beginning. I'm going to get stronger.
Babe, it's okay.
There's no reason, but there's no reason to get stronger because
thank you for sharing. No, there's not, because here's one of my we're going to end on something powerful. I live by a series of what I call power principles. And one of them is I am always happening right on time.
Yeah.
So you, my love, are always happening right on time. Nothing to apologize for or feel bad about.
All right.
I don't want to make you cry again, so.
Damn it, Jen. I said a D word, but that wasn't bad.
That's all right. I said the D word earlier. Like, but I was so in my passion flow what I was talking about. So.
No, but that's okay because you're very passionate about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But everybody, again, have a great weekend. Please be safe. Please don't D&D. That means drink and drive. And just be safe and have a driver if you're going to be out. This weekend's going to be a little crazy. All right. Except for me. Except for me, I'm just going to be at home. And we'll be on Brian's show tomorrow. So Jen, try to log into Brian Shulman's show tomorrow. He'll be on for 4 hours. That's what he does.
4 hours.
Every Saturday morning. 4 hours. You wear pajamas. You don't have to do your hair. Nothing. And
what do? You just like shoot the breeze?
We shoot the breeze. We do shout outs to people we're grateful for. Like I'll be giving one to you.
God.
Yep. And your favorite cereal.
All right, you got to send me the link.
Yep. Your favorite cereal and your favorite, even if you don't like cereal anymore, you can say from your kids when you were a kid, and your favorite cartoon.
Oh, nice. I got my cartoon. It's my happy place.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
SpongeBob.
What?
I love SpongeBob.
I'm the Jetsons, man. I mean, the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we're going back, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We're going back.
Remember Miguel Gorilla?
I don't remember. Oh, yes. Actually, I do. But I never watched it, though.
Wow. Well, we could talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly, right? and I was always Chili Willy for me in the winter.
Yeah.
But not anymore. I'm not asking for winter to come back here right now.
Oh, no. Oh, now the H word was just said. Oh, well. SD and
H. Hell no, it's okay.
Now we need the B word, which is bye.
Bye. Exactly.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you later. Thank you.
Signing off.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Cut it short before an hour.
I know.